Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Scotland has a major problem. It is not being talked about, it's been hidden. It's been hidden because the people involved with decision making know they've made the wrong decisions and they don't want to have the fingers pointed at them. And so they're doing their very best to cover up what is absolutely an appalling series of crimes. Crimes that should not even be happening. Not because they're wrong and you shouldn't do them anyway, but because the very fact they are happening is because the powers that be are enabling these things to happen. There is an absolute massive rise in sexual assaults and rapes in hospital. This is not a place where you think these things would happen, but these things are increasingly happening, and they are happening at a much higher rate than anybody knows because the government and the hospitals are conniving with each other to keep the problem hidden. And they're doing this because partially one of the reasons is their own policies and this wokeness. And they know that if it was highlighted, then the rejection of this would be, for them, horrifying, because it would just be a rejection of everything they so firmly believe in. But also, it would show, especially on the part of the government, a complete lack of control over what's happening within Scotland. Now, women are at perhaps their most vulnerable when they're in hospital. They're weak. They may even be unconscious. Their mental acuity may not be at its best. They are frail, physically and mentally weakened. And so if anyone does attack them, their ability to fight back is incredibly reduced. Now, depending on staffing levels, nursing levels, ancillary staff, anyone who wander around, cleaners, the people who bring you the food, everyone, and let's not blame the staff. This is not a staffing problem. This is a management and director problem. This is a political problem. The staff work hard enough. They can't be expected to be everywhere all the time. But basic human needs are often not met. People will perhaps have to shuffle to the bathroom themselves. And it's things like that. If somebody could be waiting in the bathroom, they come in, they lock the door, they turn around, there's a man there. And he rapes and attacks them. He can then walk out. And nothing can happen because there's nobody there to stop it. And you're thinking, what the hell's a man doing in a ladies' ward? Yes, you would think that, wouldn't you? There shouldn't be men in women's only wards. The only problem is, because of the wokeness and the trans debate and the everybody's a gender fluid and this and that and the other, there are no such things as women only wards anymore. Isn't that disgusting? Some woman may be lying there recovering, her mind has gone a little bit, especially if she's an older woman, kicking off the counters. I've actually been in a hospital visiting someone, and there was a woman 2 beds down, an older woman, and she'd gone and she'd kicked it all down, and she was laying naked in the bed. I mean, and I'm not that man. I went up and I put the covers over her, and I called a nurse. I said, look, please, nurse, come here. And I called the nurse and we put the cover over, just to give her a little bit of dignity back, you know? And that's because I'm a nice guy, but not everyone is. Some people would have taken advantage of that. And this is what's happening increasingly. Why are the hospitals not having women-only wards? And why, if it is a woman-only ward and a man is in there, might be a husband visiting or something, why is there no staff in there to protect everybody from that man? It is absolutely appalling. But I've got the numbers. Last year alone, 1 year, 250 sexual assaults in Scottish hospitals. 15 rapes. Greater Glasgow and Clyde, the country's largest health board, logged 64 sexual assaults and 6 rapes. It's the highest in Scotland, you know. And this is all because nobody has the balls to say, and no pun intended, but nobody has the balls to say, look, let's just have women-only wards and men-only wards. Let's have single-sex wards and leave it at that. Oh no, we've got to have mixed wards because some people might want to identify as a lady even if they're a man. And they might want to put their lady cock inside a woman who's frail and unable to fight back. But that's so fine because it is a lady cock and not a man cock. That seems to be the thinking. One attack is one attack too many. 250 attacks. We need to start prosecuting politicians, hospital directors, the management teams for allowing it, for allowing that to happen. They are complicit in those crimes. There is a case of a woman who was raped in a hospital by a man who pretended to be a woman. He was one of those. Oh, I identify as a woman. Well, they put her in the woman's ward. He raped a woman. When the police came, the hospital said that could not have happened. There are no women in this ward. Sorry, there are no men in this ward. It's all women. Even though they knew that old Bungalow Bill Biggins, or whatever his name is, was sitting in that ward with his lady penis. They covered it up and they denied that it could even have happened because it was a female-only ward. That's why these things are happening. And that's why it's being allowed to happen. That's why managers need to be sued, need to be taken to court, need to be jailed. Now, mixed sex wards are becoming the norm, it seems. The 2010 Equality Act makes provision for single-sex wards, but the managers are looking at single sex as being the sex you identify with, not the sex you are. And that has got to be corrected. It is wrong. If it was your wife, your girlfriend, your mother, your daughter, you wouldn't want this to happen. So we shouldn't let it happen to anyone's wife or mother, sister or daughter. We need to hold all of these people to account. And remember, Sturgeon wants this. Sturgeon wants no safe spaces for women, even vulnerable women like this. No, put men in a female-only ward. Sturgeon is determined to let that happen. Goes to show what the SNP think of women. There's no such thing as women's rights, no such thing as women's safety. It's all about playing, for men. It's all about men, isn't it? It's men's rights are important, even if that man wants to rape women. That's more important than protecting the women from him. SNP policy, isn't it wonderful? Well, no, it's got to be rejected. We've got to start voting. If you're an SNP voter, tell me, did you vote for that? Do you vote to have your daughter raped by a man in an all-female ward? I don't think you did. Stop voting for the SNP and improve the safety of women in hospitals. Thanks very much. Speak to you soon. Goodbye.